One thing you should definitely do in media relations is provide value to reporters. So a few ways that you can do that is make sure if you're going to pitch a story that you have good spokespeople that are available. A lot of times that will be just one single spokesperson who's like well prepped, ready to go, going to be around. And that way you don't have to waste their time in between like when they're ready to do their story and when that person's lined up to go. I would also say to anticipate any assets that they might need. So if I pitch a story, for example, in my career about cancer research we're doing, they're probably going to want to talk to a cancer patient about what this research means to them. So to have that lined up, ready to go, and have thought about that is an important part of our job in media relations. I think also you're going to hear this so many times, but be responsive to deadlines. I think that you provide value as a media relations practitioner when you understand the types of pressure that our journalist counterparts are under. And then I think also provide credible, accurate information. Don't try to spin, don't be too flowery. The good, credible information is really one great way that you can provide value as a media relations person. Do strategize on how best to secure coverage. So the same type of newsworthy event isn't always going to be told in the form of a pitch, a press release, or a video news release, or a press conference. So you really want to spend some time strategizing about what's the most effective way to help your friends in the media understand what it is you're trying to convey. So I would say more and more I'm relying on pitches than anything, because sometimes I feel like with press releases, by the time that I have gathered all the information, I've gotten all the quotes approved, everybody has looked at it, by that point, it's no longer newsworthy. So more and more I'm leaning towards pitches. However, when I have a good topic that's of interest to a lot of people that can basically go out to a really wide audience, so not that one specific journalist, but really relevant. So in times in my career, that's been conjoined twins. When we separated conjoined twins, to me, that was very newsworthy. When we've announced a huge expansion project, to me, that's very newsworthy. In those times, we've thought more about that formal press release or traditional video news release that already had everything loaded and ready to go because we had time to gather those assets. We knew those things were coming. Versus a lot of news in your organization you might not know is coming down the pike, and so the best thing to do is put together a simple pitch. Do you provide media training? So I think that sometimes we think of our folks, our subject matter experts, as, hey, you can create an interview in this topic. Anyone can talk about, whether you're working with a doctor or a researcher, they can talk about their area of expertise in their sleep, but that doesn't mean that they know how to talk to media about it. So I think it's really important to think about what are those key messages, help them think through that, remind them to keep coming back to those key messages over and over again, even if it sounds redundant. That way when the reporter goes and walks away from that interview, they keep that in mind. What's that one thing that they want to convey? And then also help your spokesperson stick to the facts. Otherwise, you will have a hard road ahead. So the most important thing to do is to remind them not to talk about things we haven't done yet, but to stick to what is happening today that we can speak to, or what has already happened that kind of tells a compelling story. So that kind of media training with some of those elements included, I think is a big do.